All right, so here's our getting ready portion of the day. This, when we go back to that other sample timeline of the 5 p.m. ceremony, and I said, okay, coverage should start at 2 p.m. The photographer call time should actually be between 1 and 1:30, and you want to give yourself that buffer. To what I do is I like to drop my gear off, park, use the restroom, eat a last minute snack, walk around the venue, take a look and say hi to people. But then let them know, okay, I'm here, but I'm doing these things so I can go and scope out our first look spot. So I can go and find where we're going to do family formals or whatever. So I'll usually put on my timeline, like, okay, photographer call time, 1 or 1:30, but our start time starts at 2 p.m. And that's the coverage time, okay? Now, what's covered during this section of the day, um, candids, detail shots, and getting into the wedding dress and any groom prep. Um, this is your dress, shoes, invitation suite, rings, any sentimental items, like when you have something borrowed, something blue, if there's any cufflinks, if there's any handwritten vows, if there's a gift for the girls or the guys or the bride and groom, basically anything that needs to be photographed. And this is number 3. Please make sure to have the room as clean as possible upon the arrival of the photographers. If you have all your details out and ready, this will maximize our time together so that we can get to shooting right away and not get, lose 10, 15 minutes cleaning up a hotel room. I know it gets crazy. I know when you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in a room trying to get ready, it gets nuts. All I ask is one section of the room, usually by the window, to be dedicated to being clutter free. Otherwise, I'm moving stuff, people's stuff gets, like, I try to not, like, I don't want to be the one to touch people's things. I just because I don't want the liability portion of anything happening by getting lost, broken, anything like that. It's good too, if you're at a hotel, see if they could do the housekeeping service and have them make the bed or whatever. So that's that. Now, the dress shot. So this is something that I ask my clients, is it important to you to have a hanging dress shot? And I will say, because at a hotel, there aren't too many spots to hang a dress. And a lot of the times, the cut of the dress actually looks better on the body photograph than it does on a hanger. It's also very stressful taking the dress outside in the elements, if there's dirt, wind. I recently was at a wedding where it was physically stressing me out because there were fire ant hills where we needed to go shoot the dress. And that means we have to move fast. We have to, put stuff underneath to make sure that the dress doesn't hit anything along the way. Boy, I got some stories too. Like I've seen a dress get shit on by a bird. This is why if the dress shot is important to you, then it's important to me and I will hang it and photograph it. But if you're like, man, not that big a deal, then we're going to get it on you later when we do individual shots. Okay. So who's helping you get dressed and putting on jewelry? So this is when you are ready to get into your wedding dress or your final outfit. Are your bridesmaids helping you, or is mom helping you, or is aunt helping you? Because they need to be ready by the time you get in your dress, unless they are in full robes and that's the look you're going for. But most of the time, they're going to need to be ready before the bride. Okay. Which, timeline purposes, it's almost like they need to start earlier because it almost takes way longer to get ready than you think, almost every time. Okay. And if they're doing their own hair and makeup versus having the makeup artist do it, that's something to keep into consideration as well, to make sure that they have enough time to be ready for that. Also, the getting in the dress itself, I don't typically photograph until you're about 90% in. Nobody really needs to see that tucking and pulling and, oh shit, these underwear don't go well, or like, the Spanx up to here. It's just not attractive, and I want you to be able to do whatever you need to do. And then the final zipping, buttoning, that's when we want to get that coverage of it, because those are like the sentimental moments where if you have your mom, your best friend, somebody helping you put those final touches and put the necklace on and the jewelry and stuff like that. Are there gifts being exchanged? So if you are doing a bride and groom or bride and bride, whatever, gift exchange, who's exchanging it, who's bringing it, what time do they need to bring it, and do we need to photograph it? As well as, are you gifting anything to your bridesmaids or groomsmen as well that need to be photographed? A lot of people will do robes or like, you know, these cute little bags of stuff. If it's important to be photographed, set it out with your details. If you really don't give a shit if it's photographed or not, then just say, don't worry about it. Bridesmaids or parent reveals. I love these because it's one thing for your future spouse to do a first look and see you, but I will tell you how emotional I get when I see somebody walking out and their dad or their mom seeing them for their first time. And oh God, it even makes me want to choke up now. And I think because it's like they look at their baby and they see them and it's like, I don't know. It's just like it's super touching just to see that look in each other's eyes when it's your baby getting married. Um, and it's different kind of love. So sorry for the, where's this coming from? Also, what time do you need to be packed and loaded for the first look or ceremony? What time, especially if you have bridesmaids who are chronic people who run late and over, tell them they need to be ready at least a half an hour before you actually need to be out the door waiting for the shuttle or waiting for wherever we need to go. So hopefully that's helpful for the getting ready portion of the day, and we'll go on to the next.